Good morning. Good morning. During lockdown, you may have just got sick to the back teeth of the four walls which surrounded you. But you know, at the same time as that, our homes have been places of greater value, I suggest, than ever before. It's never been better to have somewhere that you can call home. Whether it's a bedsit, whether it's a small flat, whether it's a 4-bedroomed house, there's no place like home. Home during lockdown has been a place of safety, a place of security, a place of shelter, and a place of sustenance. A place of safety against the virus. A place of security for ourselves and our possessions. A place of shelter against extreme weather that we've had in 2020. As well as the pandemic, we've also had some of the wettest weather ever recorded in the UK and some of the highest floods. We've had some of the coldest weather recorded and some of the hottest weather recorded in the UK. And when it's very wet, we run for cover as best we can. Or when it's extremely cold, we run for cover. Even when it's just too hot, we run for cover. There's just no place like home. In fact, as the song says, however far you roam, there's just no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home, sweet home. And so here we are on the 90th anniversary of St. George's Crypt, celebrating 9 decades, 90 years of providing those same bare essentials of safety, of security, of shelter, of sustenance, a cupboard of food, a fridge full of food. Those bare essentials have been provided by St. George's Crypt over and over and over again to thousands of people, women and men, young and old, who have come to value St. George's Crypt as a place of safety, a place of security, a place of shelter, and a place of sustenance. And so we thank God for all who have made St. George's Crypt possible for those thousands of people. And not only has St. George's Crypt provided those bare essentials physically, they've also introduced thousands of people to a solid foundation, not just of a home or a place to kip, but a solid foundation for your life. In introducing many, many people to the person of Jesus Christ, helping people who've been used to living on the streets to know Jesus Christ and the lifestyle of Jesus, the values of Jesus, and most of all, the forgiveness that Jesus provides. However far you've fallen, however deep in the mire you've become, however much life has overwhelmed you, Jesus provides that forgiveness that nobody else can provide. And so we thank God for all who have made St. George's Crypt this place of refuge for so many people. And we thank God for Don Robbins, the founder, and those intrepid church wardens who went into the crypt with a candle and a broom and shovels and cleared out the crypt so that people in the Depression of 1930 could find a place of rest, of shelter, a place where they could work, and a place where they could find the values of Jesus for the rest of their lives. And that same vision has continued decade after decade after decade. The irony is that here we are in 2020 entering possibly a greater depression than ever it was in the 1930s. History has come right full circle as we celebrate 90 years of St. George's Crypt. Now, I think we should just, wherever you are, listening to me this morning, just stand for a moment and let's clap for the crypt. Let's thank God. Let's thank God for everybody, wardens and assistant wardens, staff members, administrators, fundraisers, trustees, directors, and so many volunteers who, over the years, who've provided the bare essentials and the foundation of Jesus. Jesus told that simple story of two house builders, the one who built on the sand, the one who built on the rock. And so many people who've come from the bottom have been able to build their lives on the rock, which is Jesus. We thank God for every one of them, and for everyone who has generously, sacrificially given of themselves and their finances to St. George's Crypt. Now, a time of anniversary is a time to look back with thanks. But it's also a time to look forward to the future. One of my great political heroes was John Hume, who died at the age of 83 in August. John Hume was somebody who had such a vision for the future. And he was the architect of the Good Friday Agreement, and without John Hume, I guess the Good Friday Agreement would never have been achieved. In fact, it may be that no agreement would have been achieved. And so we thank God for John Hume, and particularly for a memorable thing he said. He said, "The future does not need to be the same as the past. The future doesn't deserve to be the same as the past." I don't know about you, but I think it's an absolute disgrace that in our beloved country, here in the UK, in 2020, a civilized and prosperous nation that we are, even in a time of recession and depression because of COVID-19. A prosperous nation that we are, I think it's a disgrace that we still tolerate people sleeping rough on our streets. We still tolerate people in abject poverty in towns and cities up and down our country. John Hume would say, the future does not need to be the same as the past. A Christian who I greatly admire from antiquity was Basil the Great. Basil the Great in the 4th century had a radical Christianity which we can't even imagine. In the 4th century, he said, the word mine should be eliminated from the church, so that the poor never need to envy the rich, because there would be no rich. Neither would the poor ever be despised by the rich, because there would be no poor. And then all things would be in common. That's 4th century Christianity, a radical vision of how a Jesus lifestyle could be. Now, even if the Christians of our country, even if we took on board 10% of that radical vision, the church would never have any financial needs evermore. Charities would be overflowing with money and resources, and many charities wouldn't need to exist because there would be no more poor. Now, I think as we catch a vision for the future, wouldn't it be really great if over the next 10 years, approaching the centenary of St. George's Crypt, wouldn't it be great if there were no rough sleepers on our streets, apart from those who deliberately choose of their own free will to live that lifestyle? Wouldn't it be great if our streets are ridden of people who are rough sleeping, people in abject poverty? Wouldn't it be a wonderful vision if St. George's Crypt, aided by the church and aided by the government and Leeds City Council, could ensure that by the centenary of St. George's Crypt, Leeds would be free of people who need to sleep rough? And then St. George's Crypt could give more time, more resources to the brilliant work of supporting people in accommodation, enabling people to become free of addiction, enabling people to live lives of well-being and health and purpose, enabling people to have work and employment and discover a self-respect and the lifestyle of Jesus. May St. George's Crypt lead the way to this better future. May St. George's Crypt leads towards this better future. May St. George's Crypt lead Yorkshire to this better future. May St. George's Crypt lead the UK to this better future as we approach the centenary of St. George's Crypt. Jesus said, "You who have ears to hear, let them hear."